Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Okay, I know you guys can hear me. All right. I think that's what that means. Yes, you guys can hear me. Excellent. Let me say hello to a few people and then we'll get started. We'll get this porty started. Anyway, I got some stuff that I'm going to tell you that is going to make you feel old. If there's an anniversary today, some of you all may have just figured it out from watching, from social media. Maybe not. I mean, it's not the biggest anniversary in the world, but I will share it with you. No, it's not going to make you feel old. It's going to make you feel very young because it's going to remind you of a very special time um, in your youth when you were a youth. What's a youth, you ask? I don't know. Ask Fred Gwynn what a youth is. What's a youth? A youth. You guys figure out what a youth is. I'm not going to tell you. Okay. Hello, Lady Bird, Annie Bennett, Rick, Compton Cali Gal, Verda Sanchez, Joyce Bose, Marshar. Hello, how are you? Let's see. Sheila Clements McKay, Olivia Harris, Mama Jane, Ginger Lily, Sister and Cece wants to say hi to a few people. Mary H. Mad World, one of my favorite movies. It's a mad, 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 mad world. Miss Wise Senior, Miss Levi Hemmings, Veronica Quick, Emma D, Rick Church, Nellie, Annie Bennett, Carolyn Soers. I think I'm repeating a couple people. Olivia Harris, Verda Sanchez, Gail Anita One, Sharon Davis, Audrey Teschner, and of course, Charlotte B. Bonjour, bonsoir, Victoria Fabre, Brenda Phillips. All right, I guess I am repeating myself. Sherry Ware, Janet Lavalley, Rosa Roberts. Uh, okay. Connie Bomber! Hi, Connie Bomber. Happy Monday to you. Goodness, it is Monday, isn't it? Okay. All right, I think I've gone far enough. Well, there is Catalina Hamlet. Hello. All right, no VD. Beverly Hardy wants to say hi to a few people. Hello, Beverly Hardy. Let me see. Black Queen. Oh no. Urgent care. My goodness. Oh man, I guess it is that season, isn't it? Well, I hope he's better soon. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll be praying for him. All right. Okay, so let's get back down here. Sister wants to say hi to a few more people. Very good. Hello, Archie's auntie, Miss Viv. Okay. All right. I think we're good. We're good. All right. So just wanted to take a glance and get caught up, seeing that some of you guys have been on here for a while. Well, the news is so fluid, as they say, right? And just as you're about to go on, here comes something else. You know what? I love it though, because, there are those periods when there's not a lot to talk about, but somehow we mutter through, right? Ladarius Martin, hello. Okay, so that being said, check it out. Check it out. The Power of Woman, Woman's Fun of Central Indiana, An Evening with Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, Tuesday, November 29th at the Indianapolis Marriott downtown. Well, what in the world is that all about? Well, that was just like one of those last minute things. I think it was announced maybe less than 30 minutes ago. So let me see if I can zoom in here and get the data for you. Women's Fun is proud to welcome Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, to Indianapolis. The Duchess is a mother, a feminist, and champion of human rights. She is a lifelong advocate for women and girls, a constant thread she weaves through humanitarian and business ventures. Rabbi Sandy Sasso, an acclaimed writer and community leader, will serve as moderator for the evening. Rabbi Sandy Sasso is the first woman rabbi ordained by the Reconstructionist movement and previously served at Beth El Zedek in Indianapolis. Table of Power of Women are available for purchase to groups and organizations that support the mission of Women's Fund. Learn more about attending this event. So apparently, it must be open to the public. No, to the public. It must be open to the public. I don't know how much it costs, but they said learn more about attending this event. So how about that? How about that? Well, you guys, that will be here before you know it. I mean, less than a month. Well, just a little over a month, and you guys will have an opportunity here in the Midwest to see the Duchess of Sussex. All right, so there's a super chat. Let me check this out. Baron, I'm back. Oh, crap. The Department of Justice exposed China. Really? And threaten U.S. agents and citizens to steal technology. Well, yeah, I'm not surprised by that. You know, whenever, and this is alleged, I don't want to sound like I'm xenophobic. However, I heard some time ago that whenever American companies are involved in China, that they lose a great deal of their intellectual property just by the mere existence of their factories and or businesses having a location or an address there. So um, corporate espionage is something that has been going on for quite some time. And so, yes, the intellectual property of these American companies sometimes is corrupted or stolen or yeah, that does happen. So I can't be surprised by that one. But I guess right now there's a little bad blood between the leadership of both countries. So I am not surprised. There's going to be more coming out about that, I'm sure. But thank you so much, Joan Garcia. I had no idea. I told you the news is coming in fast today for a Monday. Let's see. Scrolling. Okay, let's go on. So, thank you to Royal Suitor for this information. Came out immediately from Royal Suitor, so that's how I happened to catch it before I came on. Women's Fund is proud to welcome Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, to Indianapolis. The Duchess is mother, feminist, and champion of human rights. Road trip event is November 29th. Purchase your table for 10. Oh, so they must have the tables available for 10 people. So I don't know, you guys. Maybe some of you all here in the Midwest ought to get together and try to get yourselves a table. Wow. Uh, it is coming soon, but gives you time to get organized and most importantly, get a room. All right. So, Indianapolis. What is that in proximity to Thanksgiving? When is Thanksgiving this year? Okay, Thanksgiving is on the 24th, and the 29th is a Tuesday of November. So, yeah, that gives you time. All right. Yeah, there you go, you guys. Election day is the 8th. Donald Trump's birthday is on the 31st of this month. Oh, man. Okay. So yes, that is what's going on. How exciting, huh? Um should be a great event. And most of all, you get a chance to see the Duchess of Sussex. And let's not be petty and say, gee, I wonder what she'll wear. You know, I'm looking at that photo though, okay? I'm looking at this photo and I'm just like, is this yet another photo that we haven't seen? You know, I let me take a look at my images of our Duchess and let me see if this is another one of those Misan Harriman photos that just seems to present itself to the public whenever they're ready. But yeah, I do think that this may be a new photo from that same event at the One Young World. And so scrolling back. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it somewhere. But yeah, that particular pose looks different to me. Okay. Let me check. Let me check because I like to know these things because it may be part of a much larger photo. You know what I mean? Like, is Harry in the photo or not? Okay, so it's not the one where they're holding hands because she has her head slightly tilted on that photo. So, yeah, I think it is quite possible that this may be a photo of the Duchess that we have not seen before. That'd be interesting. But yeah, I like to keep up on those things because if there is a new photo, I want to know about it. And I'm telling you right now, I'm looking, I don't see it. I don't see it. Let me scroll back to the actual event and see if there's one from that night. Easy to spot too because she's wearing red, so that kind of sticks out in my album here. And I don't see it. So I think that this actually introduces us to another one of those photos from the occasion because I do not see it um, with the rest of my photos. Interesting. Not a big deal, but interesting. Huh. As a matter of fact, let me show you what I mean. I'll take a look at yesterday's slides and you can see for yourself. So there's the one on the left where they're holding hands. Remember that one is flipped, but her head is slightly tilted. And the one here on the right, she is smiling and looking away. So yes, I think we got us a new photo here. I love it too. I love that photo. Very cool. And I do believe that's the you know what else I noticed? The hair over his shoulder like that. Okay. Are we like super fans or what that we would notice things like that? Elaine Parker. Hi, Elaine Parker. I thought I saw a photo of him and his wife with Charles and Camilla. Oh, okay. So that's not for me. Okay. All right. Um, yes, we're going to talk about that. Hmm. Oh my goodness. So, Little Bell, you want to start off with the gossiping early. Okay. A little nip and tuck, huh? Okay, I'm on board with that. All right. So, that is that for this event. I think yeah, I think we're good for with that one so far. So, let's move on. So, yesterday we talked about this situation with the shopping trip, those photos that I was so hesitant to share with the world. And then, of course, once I realized they were everywhere, I decided to go ahead and share them with you guys. But remember, I was hesitant to do it, but there you are. It is good to see our Duchess living her best life, and I think that that's all any of us are ever interested in is stay away from the cheering and show the Duchess living her best life without, trying to offend or humiliate her. And I think we're good. I mean, she is in a public shopping district, so she's on the high street. And don't forget, yesterday I compared the two images of the high street, There's the Duchess of Sussex version of the high street, and then of course there is that rather menacing, sneering, grotesque, disturbing, I mean, stop you in your tracks kind of shopping trip that other people in the family have taken, if I'm not being too shady by pointing this out, but um, it's just like night and day. But again, I have to say that in all fairness, when you realize that you are mediocre at best, and then all of a sudden you know that you have just gotten that announcement that a real Duchess was headed that way. So I think some people got caught up in their feelings and went shopping and tried to find something to, offset the appearance of, of someone else. And anyway, so I'm not going to start with that shade again, but I just, it's just so easy. You know what I mean? It's just so easy. But yeah, that's that. So let's move on. And then, of course, here's another image of Harry at that event that he attended um, last week. And again, to see Harry living his best life, happy and surrounded by people who have confidence in his abilities. And of course, Harry, with his working knowledge of so many topics, I'm super super proud of him. So, yeah, there you go. It was a great week last week. And all of the stuff that happened last week, there was no announcement about it. I mean, it was just all another indication that there are no leaks in Montecito. Things happened. There were events and photos, and great week for the Sussexes. While the rest of the royals seemed to be on vacation from all that hard work, mourning the queen and going through the queen's jewelry and you know going through all her personal stuff. And I mean, who gets the collection of handbags? I wonder about that. But yeah, and who gets those clunky shoes and all those hats and stuff? Well, anyway, like I said, they were all busy. The royal family, they should be exhausted. I mean, going through some old woman's stuff is exhausting. Where does this shade keep coming from? Okay, okay. I have to stay focused. Where is this shade coming from? Um, does anybody know? I don't know. Let me see here. Absolutely barren. He's out anticipating fighting horse butt big bites for a paycheck. Exactly. Okay, so let me take the next one here. And there you go. So now this is typical of the tabloids. Typically negative, according to Omid Scobie, and typically untrue. Despite the bold claim, Princess Beatrice stayed until the very end of what is that, Confetti movie? Yeah, I guess it's called the Confetti Movie, which tells the story of a dyslexic girl's struggle with the schooling system in China. She even took a photo in front of the ending credits. So obviously she didn't leave early. So why would the Daily Mail on Sunday, um, written by Emily Prescott, Princess Beatrice attends premiere for a film about dyslexia, but then leaves without watching it? What? What? I mean, what is the point of that? Why? Why was that important to say that she showed up at an event, a movie premiere, and then she left without watching it? Did you leave without reporting it? Or did you leave to run and report it and just assume that she left? Or did you assume because it was a movie featuring Asians that maybe she wasn't interested in it? Is that some form of inflecting or deflection? I rather, are you deflecting your phobias or something onto um, Princess Beatrice? I mean, clearly, if she's there in front of the credits, she obviously stayed. So unless she ran out of a side door to go to Starbucks and then came back at the end of the movie, I don't get where that's coming from. Yeah. Church Nelly, I'm not paying attention to you. Um, yeah, but she might have been all overcome with grief or something when that happened. I didn't hear about that though, but interesting. Okay. The Daily Fail picked their new target. Sad, just sad. Well, I don't know what to say about this one. I don't know what the point of it is that Beatrice attends the premiere for a film about dyslexia, but then leaves early, but then I'm sorry, then leaves without watching it. And But let me show you guys something. Let me show you guys something. This is, as Omen Scobie says, typically negative and typically untrue. So this kid right here, I'm living proof. Fake stories. Moment delivery driver drop kicks customer's parcel into front door from something before walking off. I guess his driveway. Let me tell you something about this story. This kid is a YouTube prankster. He pulls little pranks on YouTube. As far as I know, nothing so malicious. However, he staged a, a partial drop off on the Ring camera of his own address, right? I think he lives with his parents. And so he films himself with his hat pulled down over his eyes, and he appears to scan a parcel, and then as he drops it, he kicks it. So he drops it to the ground, but before it touches the ground, he kicks it into the doorway and walks off. And so it appeared to be a person actually delivering a package. All right, that's clear. It seemed like that's exactly what was happening. And to be fair, anybody would assume that that's what happened, right? But it didn't happen. Okay, but the Daily Mail, without permission, used the video for their story. And of course, sometimes they actually, often, if there's a video available, they will accredit the video, but they will, run the video from the website on their uh, paper, in their, well, not papers, but in their online streaming, whatever. And so they did that. But this is the real rub. They written the story out as though they actually interviewed him, not realizing him was the person in the video. They carried on in the story as though they actually interviewed him. And so he said, I'm living proof that they routinely write fake stories. And we know it's fake because I am the one who filmed the video. I was the one who kicked the package. It was all made up. So, gotcha, Daily Mail, gotcha. And then, if that's not enough, then the Sun ran the same story. I mean, I know they're different companies, but they seem to, I guess, ride off of each other's backdraft or whatever. They seem to ride each other's wave, braid each other's hair, and paint each other's toenails, and talk about boys, and hate on the Sussexes or something. But it just goes to show once again that the stories have holes in it that you can drive a truck through or lorry, respectively. But that means nothing because you know that the hardcore haters and readers and people that believe in these tabloid papers won't even take notice of this. Now, of course, they didn't run the story in Daily Mail, but they wrote the story as though they actually interviewed him, which he's telling you, he's looking in the camera and telling you that did not happen. They never talked to me. So when you see something like this, then obviously it is easy to understand how it happens when you compare it to this. Oh no, you guys, sad news. Will and Grace actor Leslie Jordan dies at age 67. Wow, he was still kind of young. If you guys ever watch Will and Grace, Leslie Jordan, the very shall we say short or vertically challenged guy, he was the little short guy with the white hair. He was the nemesis of Karen Walker. You know, the one that goes, "Well, if it isn't Karen Walker, well, 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 Karen Walker." Well, anyway, unfortunately, it seems as though he just passed away. So that just popped up on my news feed. I get a lot of stuff that just pops up in the corner of my screen while I'm working. So that's too bad. Oh my goodness, he had a car accident. Um, wow. That's what oh, and gosh, you know this originates from TMZ. But wow, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to read about that later. Right? He gave that show life. Well, 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 if it isn't Karen Walker. I love the way he says that. Well, 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 if it isn't Karen, or what is that he says? Oh, I thought I could find the telltale smell of gin and regret. Oh man, that was classic, right? Oh man, that was too bad. He had a car accident and died. I was wondering what could have possibly have happened to him because he seemed to be in amazing health. You know, he was very physical with his comedy. So, oh man, that is terrible. So if they ever like do a special or something, oh well, we won't see him on Will and Grace again. Mm-mm-mm. Well, and guys, the interesting part about his story, if I'm not getting sidetracked too much, is that they had actually uh, that part was actually written, I think, for Joan Collins. And anyway, for whatever, and I think the character's name was going to be Leslie, and then somehow he was cast in as the character. So, um, wow, interesting. Oh wow, that's a shame. He was so talented. Well, well, well. I thought I thought I detected the wait a minute, let me do that again. Well, well, well. I thought I detected the telltale smell of gin and regret. Oh man, who could deliver a line like that? I mean, it was always well, well, well. Oh man, see, I'm getting tickled just thinking about it. Um, wow, gosh, the rest of the actors on the show are gonna be so heartbroken. Let me see if I could, let me see if I could find one of those. Karen Walker. Oh man, okay, okay. Let me try and see if I can make this work. I've got an incoming civilian. Nope, that's not working. Not a good episode. I wanted to get at least one. Well, well, well. Oh man. Okay, okay. Let me get back to work here. See what I get for examining the incoming. I know, right? Well, well, well. Let me see. Oh, okay. A medical emergency. Oh, that could mean anything. Well, well, well. All right, you guys. Let's get back to the regularly scheduled programming. Ready? Okay, here goes. As they say, I can teach you better than I can tell you. Or did I get that backwards? Anyway, you guys, this right here, this will really bake your noodle. Now, it's kind of hard to hear. As you know, I'm not always able to see certain things from the United Kingdom because, I live outside and anyway. So I saw this exchange. This is exactly how to deal with anyone using woke in a pejorative. Um, it's a pejorative term that people have used to diminish or to talk down to someone in some manner or to label a person, make them get those views out in the open. Woke covers a multitude of sins, and it's time some were made to confess them. Well done, Raki Ayola. So I think this was okay. I think this was in reference to a an interview about a movie, and because the sound is so low, I am going to push the microphone straight into the speaker. So hopefully you can pick up the sound. I do apologize. It's very low, but it's the best I can do, seeing that this was recorded by someone who wanted to share it. Thank you so much for that. But it was recorded from their anyway. The way they recorded it, it is not very loud, but let's see if we can make it work. Maybe I'll do it twice just to make sure we get it.
There are some people who will see this and they'll say that this is a woke version of a Welsh family. I can see you rolling your eyes. Tell me.
If anybody wants to say that to me, what I would say first is explain what you mean by woke, and then we can have the conversation. If you can't explain it, don't hand me that word. Don't use a word you cannot describe because you don't know what you mean. Or maybe you know exactly what you mean and you're afraid to say what you mean. So let's have that conversation. I'm not even afraid. You daren't. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Sit there and tell me what you mean by woke. And then we can talk about whether this show is woke or not, because then I'm going to introduce you to a family just like this one. So are you saying they don't exist when they clearly do? Are you saying that they're not allowed to exist? What do you mean by that? Let's have a proper conversation. Don't throw words around willy-nilly when you're not afraid to say exactly what you mean. If you don't know, please be quiet because you're incredibly boring.
Absolutely. Reiki telling us how it is. Reiki, thank you so much.
One more time, you guys. Try to adjust your sound. I know it's very low. I apologize.
Now, there are some people who will see this and they'll say that this is a woke version of a Welsh family. I can see you rolling your eyes. Tell me.
If anybody wants to say that to me, what I would say first is explain what you mean by woke, and then we can have the conversation. If you can't explain it, don't hand me that word. Don't use a word you cannot describe because you don't know what you mean. Or maybe you know exactly what you mean and you're afraid to say what you mean. So let's have that conversation. I'm not afraid. You daren't. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Sit there and tell me what you mean by woke. and then we can talk about whether this show is woke or not. Because then I'm going to introduce you to a family just like this one. So are you saying they don't exist when they clearly do? Are you saying that they're not allowed to exist? What do you mean by that? Let's have a proper conversation. Don't throw words around willy-nilly when you're not afraid to say exactly what you mean. If you don't know, please be quiet because you're incredibly boring.
Absolutely. Reiki, telling us how it is. Reiki, thank you so much.
So, did she go there or what? If I can find this someplace else, I will. And I'll try to share it with you. I apologize. I know the sound was low. I turned it up as loud as it would go. Um, but So she just threw that word out there and she was looking down at her notes and trying to find the proper way to, I won't say proper because there is no proper way, but she was trying to find some type of way to slowly introduce and deliberately introduce such I guess a nasty term to put down the movie, to put down the storyline, and to even dress down the person that she's speaking to, and probably haven't seen the movie, by the way. And it didn't. After she says the thing, then she finally raises her head up and looks at her, only to appreciate the fact that yes, she is rolling her eyes, but with good reason, because look at what you're trying to do in this moment. It was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting, and she was right to call her out. Again, I do apologize for the um the very low tone coming from the sound, but it was the best that I could do. Let's see. Connie Bomber has a super chat. Forgive and apologize if you were wrong. Laugh a little more. Foringo and forego a grudge. Forgive and apologize if you were wrong. Laugh and laugh a little more. Thank you so much, Connie Balmer, for those very wise words. Again, I am going to screenshot this. You are coming up with some great ones, and I love this. So let me save this one. All right. Thank you, Connie Balmer. You are just a wealth of these wonderful sayings these days. I greatly appreciate that, and thank you for the rest of the squatties that have shared us those sage words of advice and life lessons. It just goes to show the very top drawer subscribers we have here at Royal Sussex, which doesn't explain why I'm the one who gets to be on the microphone, but oh man, I mean, to have such an amazing type of subscriber for this channel, and then you got some old riffraff like me on the microphone. Life is just not fair, is it? Oh man, but you know what they say, you can't help who you fall in love with, right? So anyway, thank you so much, Connie Balmer, and thank you for having a membership, and also thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Okay. uh, well, now that I have exposed myself as riffraff, Mavis Batson says, Baron, it was loud and clear. Hi, Baron, Squatties, mods, and friends of the couple. Love you all. Thank you so much for that, Mavis. I was feeling very insecure, but I'm glad that you were able to hear it clearly. Um, and I hope everybody else has too. So, Let me get here. And then Cynthia Thorpe says woke is a word coined and used to describe how the African American behave. They had to remain awake in order to defend themselves if necessary after emancipation. You got that right. You got that right. After emancipation, that was when the Jim Crow kicked in. Okay, you guys. So I'm so glad to share that with you. Now, I'm telling you, it was just one story after another today, because then there's this. Let me take a sip of water here because I'm trying to keep myself hydrated. So hit it, Annie. God, that's sweet and delicious. Oh, one more time. Okay. Um, Dan Wooten, he says the grotesque on air celebration at the BBC last night after Brexit hero and proven winner Johnson pulled out of the leadership race proves the Boris bashing corporation. Oh, that's clever, BBC, Boris bashing corporation wants the Tories to lose under Sunak and slippery Starmer. Who writes this stuff? Oh, yeah, that's right. Dan Wooten. To become prime minister. So that happened yesterday. Hello, Joan Commonwealther. And apparently, she was just too happy. Now, as you guys have heard me say, it doesn't matter to me what ethnic background someone has if they're qualified for a job. However, I am all about affirmative action. But I get the idea that affirmative action means that what if there's someone else who is equally or more talented, and you hire someone just based on, well, because representation matters. And so there are many black and brown people in the United Kingdom who haven't been represented thus far. Now, I'm not saying that Rishi Sunak is the best qualified person or the best qualified brown person, or should I even go on to say Asian person that could possibly hold this job. But it's a start. It is a start. And the only way that some of the hardcore racists will ever learn that if you are talented, you can do the job is just by throwing somebody in there. And then I guess the racist person wakes up and realizes the tides have not reversed. The sky hasn't turned red, and it hasn't rained down fire and brimstone. Everything is the same as it was yesterday and the day before. That's the whole point of it. So it's a frightening moment for people who embrace Brexit to get all the black and brown people out of the UK. But for people who are more progressive in nature, which seemingly this anchor person is, it was room for celebration. And that seemed to bother Dan Wooten. Dan Wooten, who seems to not really appreciate a person of color in certain situations and instances, like, for instance, the royal family, as he would say it, obviously had a really bad night last night, to put it mildly. Um, let's see. Thank you so much, Right Church Wrong Pew, for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Monday to you. Okay, so Dan Wooten said it was one of those BBC moments that will live in infamy. Gosh, he sounds so morbid, doesn't he? For being as jaw dropping as it was tiresomely predictable. Following Boris Johnson's decision to reluctantly pull out of the conservative leadership contest last night, the public broadcaster's flagship news channel launched an impromptu on air celebration. Well, why not? Why not? In a thousand years of history and however many hundred years of the position of the prime minister, so they finally got somebody brown in there. Big deal. Okay, following Boris Johnson's, oh, I'm sorry, Martine, what is her name? Croxall? Oh, that's a weird name. Martine Croxall, a veteran presenter trusted by the corporation to announce the news of the death of Prince Philip. Oh boy, they should have gave me that job. I'm sorry, I couldn't hold that in. They should have gave me that job. Uh, I would have told everybody, but okay, let me stop. Why is this so funny to me? I have no idea. But anyway, they trusted her to announce the death of Prince Philip, yada, 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 admitting she was unable to hide her glee that the Brexit champion and proven election winner had been kept from returning to number 10 Downing Street thanks to the relentless campaign led by the establishment all weekend long, including, of course, her employer, with the body language of a giddy teenager, Harry Styles fan meeting her idol. She started the program by exclaiming, "Well, this is all very exciting, isn't it? Hello, and welcome to our look ahead to the papers will be bringing us tomorrow. Am I allowed to be this gleeful? Well, I am. Well, you're not exactly, according to according to Dan Wooten. Well, you're not exactly. Dan Wooten just couldn't take it. She was excited. This is like the dawn of a new era. You know, how many more old white men in a suit and tie that went to the right school can you have in that position without things getting absolutely boring? Well, okay, you throw in there Margaret Thatcher and what's her name, the one that just left, and anyway, you've had what, three women. There was Disraeli, who I believe was Jewish, and then there's Rishi Sunak. And so everything is going to be the same. He's going to be just as conservative and just as Brexit minded as the next person from the Tory party. So why make a big fuss out of it? Because he's not white. That's why. That doesn't work for the people like Dan Wooden because he's non white. That's the only thing that bothers him, as though Boris Johnson is such a champion of the people. He's not. And he's a big liar, and that's why people are glad to see the back of him. Seriously, though. And yes, oh, wait a minute. Okay, that's not for me. Miss VS Speaks Royally is here. Hello, VS. Let me see. Barron, he is not qualified. He will not support people of color or people that are immigrants who are looking for somewhere to live. Ms. P Talks, got it. And I'm on top of it. And I'm going to share some stuff with you very, very soon. But for now, I'm just having some fun with this. Okay. Okay, a lot of comments. So I'm going to have to skip a bunch of stuff. Well, you're not exactly. You know what? I'm out of practice with Dan Wooden right now. Karen, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Monday, and thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex. Hello to official Lauren Brown is here today. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm gonna have to skip some stuff because I know I'm having too much fun with this. And you know what it is? When I know stuff like this gets on the nerves of people that are racist, that seems to make the corner of my mouth touch my ears. Okay, people like Dan Wooten and others said Sunak doesn't love the UK like Boris because he is a foreigner. In other words, he is brown. Exactly. I saw that that phone call on the LBC. Is it LBC network where the guy said that Rishi Sunak is not British, even though he was born in the UK. And then, of course, she reminded him that Boris Johnson was born in New York. And so he finally got to the point of it. Well, they're white, okay? That's all that matters to me. I mean, he didn't say exactly like that, but that's exactly what he meant. So, okay. All right. I'm just looking here. Okay, sorry I had to miss a few things, but I was stuck in that one spot there. Let me continue. So there is Dan Wooten. There's Dan Wooten, and he is pissed. Boy, is he pissed because his champion of Brexit is not the prime minister today. And I mean, they tried, they even fooled me when they said that Boris Johnson had secured enough votes that he had over 100. He broke the threshold. When the truth is, I think he barely got past 50 votes. So he was not even close. I think that even some of his most staunch supporters from the past are just glad to be rid of him. And now, of course, they're probably going to set up the new prime minister. Trust me, they're going to set him up for a huge fall. Greatest comeback since Lazarus. Boris on the brink of bid to be prime minister 52 days after he quit. Now, that's the Express. This is the same Express that has gotten it epically wrong on so many occasions, but don't let that stop them. Like right here. Only Cameron can save Britain. Vote May or we face disaster. Down but not out. Why we must put faith in Boris and then put faith and trust to deliver for Britain. How do they get it wrong so often? I don't know, but they do. And then the Daily Mail, they're no better. Like, for instance, she has the boldness, the vision, and strength of conviction to build on what Boris began. That's why today the Mail backs Liz Truss for leader. Only within about 40 days and 40 nights, Truss was a disastrous dalliance who served only to remind us what real leadership looks like. And this is what they thought real leadership looks like. I mean, this is just too much. This is too much. And I thought American politics was off the chain. But this right here, this takes the cake. Thank you so much, Ella Gullies, for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for being here. So, where are we at here? Let me keep this moving. And so there you go. Another liar, just like the one we had here in the U.S. I tell you guys, even though they seem to carry so much support in the moment, even though they keep threatening a comeback, let this serve as a lesson to the Orange Menace. Not everybody who smiled in your face is your friend, but I think he knows that. Because right now, as much as the conservatives are afraid to say it here in the U.S., they don't want to see him return. They don't want him back. because all he has to do is say a few words and he can ruin your prospects as a politician or even as a human being, because that's how much weight he carries in that cult of personalities called the MAGA Republican Party. So, um, to hell with both of them as far as I'm concerned. All right. So let's get to Rishi Sunak. Well, well, well. If he doesn't remind me of Dick Van Dyke for some reason, I don't know what it is. I don't know, but he does. He just kind of reminds me of Dick Van Dyke. But that being said, all right. Now, you guys want to hear what is being said about him. I promised I would share that with you, and I shall. So, again, this is not the best audio, but it's going to be better than the last one. You got to listen to this.
Rishi Sunak, the wealthiest member of parliament, is totally unfit to be prime minister. He is someone who has benefited from an elite education, going to a private school, Oxford, having a career in banking before pursuing a career in politics. So as prime minister, whose interests do you think he'll be serving? Rishi Sunak and his family belong to a very exclusive club who think the rules don't apply to them, including tax rules, benefiting from a non-dom status that you can't use. Taxation rules are something you don't have a choice about. Don't expect someone who has benefited from millions of pounds in tax being dodged to crack down on tax avoidance. Rishi Sunak's campaign video featured his parents migrating to the UK and telling a British success story.
Family is everything to me, and my family gave me opportunities they could only dream of. But it was Britain, our country, that gave them and millions like them the chance of a better future.
But as a member of the government, he's actively pushed through policy that stop people from being able to come to the UK and rebuild their lives. From the Rwanda policy that will deport refugees thousands of miles away to defending the hostile environment. Rishi Sunak is a complete utter fraud. This again shows the limitations of representation politics. Having black and brown people at the top does not mean that the lives of black and brown people in the UK and across the world will be better. In fact, they have gotten worse. The Tories are the party of the 1%, and they will always do the bidding of the 1%.
We inherited a bunch of formulas from the Labour Party that shoved all the funding into deprived urban areas, and that needed to be undone. I started the work of undoing that.
Things are bleak, and there often feels like there is no hope. But like the Liverpool anthem goes, at the end of a storm, there's a golden sky. Across the country, we're seeing workers organise across so many sectors, whether it's the RMT to barristers, cleaners, teachers and nurses. What this is showing us is that another way is possible, and workers stand up, fight back and hold this government to account.
Okay, so there you have it. Not all skin folks are kin folks. That's what she's saying. Not all skin folks are kin folks. So just because he's brown don't mean that he's going to do a better job. It just means that there's a brown person in a position of power. But whose power does he serve? Whose interest does he have? Does he actually want to help people of color? She laid out the case very well, and I had every intention on sharing it with you today, which is why I had this slide available. But if you would like to hear more from that Double Down News, you could always subscribe to them. I'm sure that they're on Facebook and probably on YouTube as well. But that is what they had to say about Rishi Sunak. So, you guys, just because I'm having fun with this doesn't mean I think that things are going to improve for the average person in the UK. Just like here in the United States, we did have a black president, but things didn't necessarily improve for everyone for the sake of it. You got to go out and vote. Like here, we have the midterm elections coming up. And don't boo, vote, vote, vote. unless you are active in your community and active politically, then I don't think you have a right to complain when things are not going the way you want them to. So they will use the power that they have. If people don't protest or if people don't vote, then you give them consent to, I guess, misuse the authority of their office. So that is how that goes. All right. So anyway, as I said, I had a little fun with the idea because I know that this is a worry to a lot of people because he doesn't look like the others. But other than that, I promise you, it's going to be business as usual for the conservatives, for the Tories in Britain. This is just something that is going to be weird for a minute, and then they're going to go right back to the same old shade. Got it? Okay, that's all I had to say about that. So, and of course, you can see right here, whatever your politics, if Rishi Sunak becomes the UK next prime minister, it'll be historic, the first person of color with the keys to number 10, but it wouldn't mean racism is defeated. That is a time for complacency or the work is over. It only is, I'm sorry, it's only a beginning. Exhibit A. And you can see there, conservative politician there, David C. Bennerman, posted that on his Twitter. And of course, it was even said that Dan Wooten reposted it, although I can't confirm that because I did go to his Twitter and I couldn't find it. So maybe he reposted and took it down, or I just couldn't find it. So stick a pin in that one. I don't know that to be true. The New Conservative Party, that is another interpretation of that same thing. So that is how his own party sees him, or certain members of his party. They see him as a snake. A snake. And of course, the snake, as you may have seen before, the snake charmers that you would see when you visit India, I think they're trying to put him in his place or something. So I think that that's what it means. But either way, that is what happened once the news got out. All right, and so there was this big thing that happened at the waxworks at Madame Tussauds. Police arrest Just Stop Oil activists who smeared cake on the waxwork model of King Charles in front of shocked half-term crowds at Madame Tussauds in Eco Mob 26th stunt this month. So apparently, well, you could take photos with those wax figures. And quite often when you go to the wax museum, they don't mind if you walk up to them and everything. You can just get right next to them. Of course, they ask you not to touch the figures. Now, to be fair, they don't look so dissimilar from the royal family any other place you see them, whereas they seem rather waxy and lifeless. Even when I read the story, I was just like, are they sure that's Madame Tussauds? How could you tell? But I guess it is because that's what they say it is. Now, here, you can see why no damage was done to Camilla's waxwork. For some reason, for some unexplained reason, they decided not to mess with her. Would you? Yeah, I don't know what it is about Camilla's waxwork that they lost their nerves and decided to leave her alone. But for some reason, they just decided it wasn't worth it and they didn't bother her. But Charles did not fare as well as Camilla. So, yeah, I don't know. You know what it's like when you get up close. You know how it is, objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear. Well, maybe some objects made of wax look more vicious up close than they are from a distance, so they just left her alone. But okay, I understand that one. You know what? I didn't notice that, but let me go back and take a look. Oh yeah, that is rather strange, isn't it? Why did they put so much space? As they say, art imitates life. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Well, of course, to be as lifelike as possible, they couldn't really capture the essence of Camilla. Otherwise, they would have had to have used a silky chicken as a model compared to an actual, the live figure of the Duchess of Cornwall. They would have had to have used a silky chicken. And so, since it's hard to find a silky chicken because of Brexit, they oh the shade, oh the shade, and of course I don't know if there's tools fine enough and sharp enough to really render an image of the Duchess of Cornwall that looks any more lifelike than the actual person. So I'm pretty sure that it would have taken too many hours of work to really achieve the authentic lifelike appearance of the Duchess of Cornwall. So they had to settle for something not nearly as detailed, because if you really want to do it, you got to have some very fine tools. You have to have like you would actually wear out an X-Acto knife trying to carve and scrape enough to, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sure that the actual figure is not as lifelike as the others, but then again, who's got time for that, right? And then where do you find a hair color like that that does not exist in nature? I don't know. So, um they had their hands full. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I bet you there was so many shavings of wax and paraffin all over the place. You know what I mean? From just hours of scraping and scraping and more scraping and then some more scraping. So I'm sure they had their work cut out for them. And then, of course, to create a wax figure that truly captured the current Princess of Wales. The thing is, if you make it too lifelike, then it seems like half of the statue has melted. You know what I mean? So if you want it to look really lifelike, you have to inject it with some type of resin or something that can, lift one side of the face and drop the other, and also set the mouth askew. So um, they have not found an artisan yet who can duplicate the members of the royal family. But I'm not through yet. I'm not through yet. Then there's William. In order to really find a lifelike image of William, I believe that they required another member of the family to stand in for him in order to make sure. Like, for instance, you don't know whether that's William or the Duke of Kent. How could you know? I don't know either. But yeah, so it was very difficult to get a lifelike image of William. So I think this is William, but I may be wrong. It may be the Duke of Kent. But yeah, so the royal family is not easy to duplicate in wax. Takes a lot of work, a lot of pigments, and lots of rogue hair placement, lots of scraping and gouging and scraping to get, you know what I mean? So, um, You get what I'm saying? But as you can see, there's William and the Princess of Wales right there, and as you can see, um, how what a great job they've done with his wax figure. So there you go. And then, of course, I'm hoping that what is her name, Suella Braverman, whatever. I hope that they create a wax work for her. Um, please, please, if there's any fairness in this world, just so that I'll have something funny to look at next time I go to Madame Tussauds, please create a wax figure for this woman that dreams of putting people on a plane and dropping them off in Rwanda. Please create a wax figure for this one, because I promise you, now it may scare children. This may frighten some children. This may frighten some children, but don't you think that this is necessary in time for Halloween? Right? So, this is the one wax figure that they have omitted thus far, but perhaps in the future they will include this. Okay, let me see. There is a super chat. Sean says, and prayers and fasting and tithes and offerings. Well, thank you so much, Sean, and thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, and of course, as I informed you guys yesterday, that the German waxworks, they actually had this rather embarrassing moment. Well, I don't think they were embarrassed. I mean, they did allow people to see it. But apparently, when they made the waxworks figure of the Queen, I think they got it confused with William or something. Um, or maybe they looked at William and thought the whole family was like that. I don't know. But either way, they just omitted they decided to save some money and not bother to, do the top. So I tell you, tough business, the waxworks, isn't it? And they said that the archetypes done her in. I don't think so. I think after seeing if she could survive this, what couldn't she survive? Those wax museums are brutal, aren't they? Oh man. Okay, so speaking of waxworks, Camilla, they say Queen Camilla in India, not Queen Consort Camilla, but Queen Camilla in India for holistic therapy vacation while King Charles remains in UK report. The Queen Consort has been a regular visitor to Dr. Isaac Mathai in Bangalore in recent years. Now, I don't know what that means, that she's going for some holistic therapy treatment, but some people have speculated that she may come back looking like somebody took a good hot iron and steam and just, went over her or something. So we'll have to wait and see what that means, because I'm not sure. But is that like some euphemism that she went for holistic therapy, or is that actually what's going on? Hard to say. But as you know, she has been looking a bit rough. So maybe she's trying to get that, 3 1/3 body back or something. You know what I mean? Maybe she has aspired to be a 10, but realized that at best she's 3 1/3, even for her age. So yeah, so maybe she's trying to get back to 3 1/3. And if she's lucky, maybe she can get back to, 4.0. Maybe she can be a 4. Who knows? Okay, so Bangalore, um, the United Kingdom Queen Consort Camilla landed in Bangalore, Bangalore on a private visit for her first overseas tour. She came by British Airways flight Thursday, traveled by road for nearly 40 kilometers from Kempegowda Airport to Sokya, a tiny holistic health and wellness center near Whitesfield. Um, she'll be undergoing rejuvenation therapy during her 10-day visit. Um, maybe she should stay for a month. I think they're going to need more than 10 days. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe they should let her stay for a month. You know what I mean? Because what they're trying to achieve, she's going to need more than 10 days. She is going to need more than 10 days. 10 days will barely scratch the surface. So, if they really want to, give her the best of all worlds, better add a couple of more days to the diary because I don't think 10 days is going to be enough. I mean, just look at the state of her. Put some more days down for her. All right. So, did you guys see this? Favorite triple toss up ever? Now, I don't know what a triple toss up is because I haven't watched the Wheel of Fortune in ages, but I know it's one of those games that they have within the game. And you have Megan Thee Stallion, you got Megan Fox, and of course, Meghan Markle. So I don't know, but it's called the triple toss up. But that's what they had. So there you go. And lastly, lest men they quarrel, search a forgotten friend, and take up arms against malice. The very wise words of Connie Balmer. So thank you for that again, Connie. I saved this from the last time. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. So, and you know what, guys? I'm done. You guys are getting out of here early. You guys are getting a break. You're getting out of here early for good behavior, and you guys have been on your best behavior. So, apropos of that, I am done. And it only took an hour and 19 minutes. Woo! That is almost record breaking, isn't it? So I'll look for your last comments before I go. And remember, this was not a Mark Goodson or a Bill Totson production. No animals were maimed or injured throughout this Royal Sussex. And if there was any, and I do mean any, nudity or violence, it was definitely simulated and probably not asked for. But oh man. Oh, you know what, guys? You know what? I do want to share one thing extra with you guys. One thing extra. I can't believe I almost overlooked that. Let me see if I can bring this up. I may have to go out and come back in order to get this on here. But I promised you that I would share some information that is going to make you feel either really young or really old. I guess it depends on your perspective. But today is the 44th anniversary. Oh, it didn't work. How did I know that? Let me go out and come back in and I will share that with you. I'm so sorry. I thought I had it on the first set of slides, but I did not. So, let me enter studio. There I go. Close that one. All right. All right, I'm back. I am back. And here goes. That is for today, right? And let me see if I can grab the other one I wanted to share. Sorry it takes this to do it, but I meant to put this up right away and I did not. So there you go. It is the 44th anniversary, the 44th anniversary of, ready for it? Wait for it. The 44th anniversary of, oh, by the way, Sean has a super chat. There's no way, no way in God's green earth they will have her ready for the coronation. And we all know when a woman goes to rejuvenation, we know what that means, but we all know that that's dead. Well, if you, I'm afraid to ask, but anyway, thank you so much for the super chat. I think I understand what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down, and well, they better use some army thread. Some army thread, some gorilla glue, some epoxy, and a few other things if they're going to try to straighten her out. Okay, so it is the 44th anniversary of The Wiz on October the 24th, 1978. That is when it was first released to the public. The Wiz is the 1978 American musical adventure fantasy film produced by Universal Pictures and Motown Productions and released by Universal Pictures on October the 24th, 1978. A reimagining of L. Frank Baum's classic 1900 children's novel, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, featuring an all black cast. The film was loosely adapted from the 1974 Broadway musical of the same title. So, if you all remember The Wiz, that came out 44 years ago. 44 years ago today. So I still have the album. I said what I said. I still have the album, the LP, the 33 and a third of The Wiz that I purchased years ago. And I am still very proud to have that. Michael Jackson, Nipsey Russell, Ted Ross, Lena Horne, Richard Pryor as The Wiz. And of course, let's not forget, let me see. Oh, I said Lena Horne, didn't I? Yeah, it was a good movie though. Love that movie. So if you guys remember that, that was a very special movie, The Wiz. And you guys, I want to ask you this. I know I said I was about to get off of here, but let me ask you this. Do you guys, okay, I was a rather naive child, right? Did you guys know some of those euphemisms that they mentioned in The Wiz right away, or did it catch you by surprise? Like, for instance, when they mentioned the poison poppies, or how about when they couldn't get a cab? Remember how every time they walked up to a cab, the cab would just drive away? Well, I didn't know that that was a reference to the fact that, black people couldn't get a cab to go to Harlem back in the day. But that's exactly what it meant. There was quite a few things that went over my head. And I'm going to share one that you may not have noticed, but I'll tell you now. Did you guys know that Miss One was a bag lady? Miss One was a bag lady. I mean, a classic New York bag lady. I mean, did you notice that she had like about 30 bags and purses on each arm? And I got to tell you one more. This movie went over my head. I was a kid, I didn't know the difference. But it all started making sense to me. Um, when Miss One introduced herself to Dorothy, and she told her, she said, okay, now we all got to go back to running our business. Running our business meant that Miss One was part of the racket, the numbers running racket. So that was another thing. Yeah. Please do. I'm telling you, Olivia Harris, there's a lot of stuff that went over my head that I didn't understand. So Miss One was not only a bag lady, but her and the kids on the playground, they were all part of the numbers rackets. Yes, I didn't know that. I didn't know what it was. I was a kid when that came out, so I had no idea. Um, and I'm trying to think if there was. Oh well, of course, those women that got arrested by Eveline. Well, they were working girls. If you remember the way they were dressed, they were working girls, and I think they worked for Eveline. So Eveline was not only, kind of like a but she had her sweatshop, which means that they made clothing. It was like slave labor. But yeah, and Eveline's sweatshop. I mean, that was exactly what it was. So there was so many interesting things that you have to go back and watch it. Oh yeah, remember that? I hate to do it myself because I can't stand the smell. But these are red alert conditions. Oh man, I used to know every line of that movie. I knew every line of that movie. So yeah, that was another one of those things that kind of, go over your head. So if you haven't seen the movie, do watch it and try to pick up on all those interesting little colorful colloquiums and hidden details, as well as the euphemisms that were used to tell the story. Uh, so I'm looking, see if there's any that you guys can tell me that I didn't notice, but I guess not. I guess I covered all of them. But yeah, great movie. And again, this is the 44th anniversary. And there is, of course, Lena Horne from when she had her one woman show on Broadway. If you guys remember back in the day, back in the late 70s, Lena Horne had a one woman show where she spoke about her experience in Hollywood. And gosh, I tell you, there's so many things from my childhood that I would see, was playing on Broadway, and I never had an opportunity to go and see any of that stuff, like Evita, Cats, or of course Lena Horne, um, Dream Girls. If you guys remember when that was popular, that was a very big time for Broadway. Was the late 70s, early 80s, and I can remember so many times like watching the Today Show or something, and they would have the performers on there or something just opened, and you could only dream about that stuff. Let me see. I watched many times and didn't pay attention. I just love the music and dancing, so I'll watch it again. Please do, Joan Garcia. It is so cool. Like, for instance, the Tin Man, just an old carny hustler. Well, of course, who doesn't know the old carny hustler back in the day, as well as a vaudevillian? And he was brilliant for that part. Sean has another super chat. I want to know what doctor with a PhD and nurse they had that they are going to drag down there to fix that up. Also, a mechanic needed. Science has gone into a tailspin. Red flag, red flag. I mean, making allowances for wear and tear. Which reminds me, isn't Veterans Day coming up? But making allowances for wear and tear. Speaking of euphemisms, I wonder if we're both talking about the same thing. Oh my God, that's just bad, 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 bad. Oh, woo. Anyway, thank you so much, Sean, again for the super chat and for watching Royal Sussex. Um, watching The Wiz made me become a dance major at the tender age of 5. I'm still dancing at 47 now. Very cool, Marcy Foreman. It was a great movie. I loved it so much. And if you remember, the headquarter for The Wiz was the recently completed World Trade Center. If you remember that, obviously you do, of course, if you've seen the movie. But yeah, they used the World Trade Center. I mean, just so many amazing things. A lot of references to New York, to Black culture, and of course to the little underground income and such that were in communities back in the day. So it's like taking a abstract look at the good old days of Harlem, I would say. Okay, let me see here. Don't bring vets into this. They have enough. I mean, they have suffered enough. Oh man. Oh, why do I still have this? Thank you, Sean. Why do I still have this picture up here? Let me get this off of here before she comes out of the screen or something. All right. Let me put Lena back up there. I didn't know who Lena Horne was when I saw the movie. And I tell you something else. I thought Teresa Merritt and Mabel King, I thought they were the same person, but they were not. Mabel King played Eveline, and Teresa Merritt, she's the one who, I think her name was Teresa Merritt. Was it Teresa Merritt? The one that played Auntie M, that played Dorothy's Auntie M. I think that's who it was, but yeah. Richard Pryor played the Wiz. Yes, Richard Pryor played the Wiz. I told you guys this was going to take you all back. So, yes, I just wanted to talk about that because it was one of my favorite movies of all times. And if you haven't seen it, or if you have seen it, go back and take another look at it, and you can see all of those little interesting details that you never noticed before. Like, for instance, Michael Jackson played the Scarecrow, and instead of being in a cornfield, he was actually in a vacant lot. He was actually in one of those vacant lots in Harlem or wherever. Um, so it was all very urban, very, inner city, very Harlem. And that is what made it so cool. And so, anyway, you guys, I'm going to ease on down the road. I'm going to ease on down the road. So, you guys ease on down the road. And don't you carry nothing that might be a load. Just ease on down the road. You put your left, I'm just kidding. I ain't about to do that whole song. Oh, man. Yeah, Halloween is coming soon, and Camilla is perfectly timed for that. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, the list. Oh man, the what do you call those people? The telemarketers or whatever, they are really on me today, those spam calls. All right, the list is the list, and I got the list somewhere. Where do I got the list? I had to think for a second. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Okay. That's what's happening. Oh, okay. Sorry, you guys. I need to go someplace else to get the list because I cannot bring it up on my phone. There it is. Thank you so much for today's donations, Joan Garcia, Connie Balmer, Right Church Wrong Pew, Karen, Ella Gully, Sean and Sean and Sean and Sean. Thank you 4 times, Sean. Greatly appreciated. And thank you all for watching Royal Sussex. So the last thought of the day is yes, that's it. That's something to think about. Only 400 plus thumbs up. That's something to think about. Let me see. I'll never be caught dead in red. The new color is gold. I wouldn't be seen green. And if I'm seen at all, make sure it's mean green or something like that. Oh wow, okay. I remember that. The songs. Red, gold, and green. Which one was that lady comes out? Ooh, ooh, ah, ooh. The one that was like super bougie and posh. I think it was red. I think it was red. Let me see. Those doctors are going to need to call better up. Meghan and Harry on standby. So you mean after they start seeing what they have to repair, they're going to need counseling? Oh man, that is too funny. Thank you again. All right, guys. Let me see. Lastly, today. Oh, really? I didn't know that he had supported Meghan. Interesting. Okay. Red was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Let me see. I was watching Finding Your Roots with, and one of the folks' grandmother was, oh, really? She was a numbers runner. Yeah, if you guys don't know what the numbers runners was, if I understand, you would bet money with someone who was in the neighborhood that took the bets, who was probably involved with one of the local gangs, and the numbers, some people called it policy, right? And the numbers would appear in the daily newspaper. Now, I don't remember what part of the paper that they found the numbers, but anyway, if the numbers that you bet matched up with the numbers that was in the daily newspaper, then you would get paid by the local bookie or numbers guy or whatever. So that's what the numbers were. So in the movie The Wiz, the Miss One made a reference to say that, well, now that you freed us, we can all go back to running our business. So I think that Eveline ever means even ugliest sister. Okay, the Wicked Witch Evermean wanted in on Miss One and the children's numbers racket. And when they wouldn't share their numbers, she turned them into graffiti. Now, they said she caught us spray painting on her playground wall. And because she caught them spray painting, she turned them into graffiti. But I think she wanted in on that money. So, again, there are a lot of references that might go over your heads. But trust me, it's there. It's there. It's all there. It is just cloaked in the very colorful songs and dance, and of course, the amazing talents of the day. Let me see. Ooh, this is interesting. My grandmother played the horses through a bookie. When she won, those white men came to pay her. They said, you know, that horse was doped. The fix was in. She said, give me my money. Wow, your grandmother didn't play, huh? Well, that's what happened to William's horse at the what was that? At uh the the oh the Jubilee. The Jubilee. That's probably the same stuff they used on that horse William refused to rehearse with. Oh man. Oh, so there you go. Duchess of Success will be on in 8 minutes, and I am going. Oh yeah, that's right. She's scheduled for 10 after 3 my time. So yes. All right, you guys. I am going to go now. How did I get this far into this when I said I was about to leave about a half hour ago? So much for finishing early, right? All right, you guys, I will hop over to Duchess of Success and listen discreetly while I make my lunch. And should be a good show today because she probably has found a lot of stuff ever since I started. It seemed like the news is coming out. So if you want to get the latest, hop over to the Duchess of Success. Let me see if I can find the link for you guys. Let me see if I can find a link. There we go. Oh, okay, yeah, she's starting soon. So, Meghan out and about. Deal or no deal exposed. Ooh, that should be good, you guys. Prime Minister clown show and plus more. So, let me get the link for you guys. And I can see that there's quite a few people over there already. Lauren Brown, I see you there. Weren't you just here? Annie Bullard. Victoria Fabre, you too? Weren't they just over here? What is happening? Okay, let me get out of here. I think that is my cue to get out. So let me get the link for you guys. Okay, there you go. There's the link. And I am going to pin that to the top of the chat so you guys can find it. There it is, Peg Channel. There you go. So I will see you all over there soon. Joan Garcia's over there. Oh no, you're still over here. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong screen. You're over here, not over there. But yes, thank you. I forgot I had went back to my screen so I could pin it. All right, you guys, thank you so much. It has been fun. I will never look at a wax figure the same way again, ever. Oh, wait a minute. 1975, I saw Lena Horne and Clifton Davis at the Downtown Theater. Pal Joey, let me see. Lena Horne was in her mid-70s, and boy, she danced. Okay. She could dance. All right. Wow. 1975? Now, see, I think she was in her 60s at that point. I don't think she was in her 70s. I think she was in her 60s because I remember they had the magazine article. It was a Jet magazine. And back in the 1970s, when she did her one-woman show, I remember she was like 63 was the age they had. So I think she was actually still a little younger at that time. So yeah, I'm pretty sure of that. But there is a way we could check by looking at the see when she was born, Lena Horne. Okay, she was born 1917. So by 1975, how old would she be? She died in 2010. So by 1917, so by 1927, she would have been 10. And then 37, she would have been 20. And 47, she'd have been 30. And 57, she'd have been 40. And 67, she would have been 50. And so in 77, she would have been. Oh, wait, did I? Anyway, y'all got what I'm saying. I was on the road there, and then 70s. Let me see. 62. Thank you. Y'all take such good care of me because you know math is not my strong suit. But yeah, so if it was that time, she would have had to have been in her 60s. Okay. See what a good memory I have because I do remember seeing that Jet magazine and it said that she was 63. And I know I saw that back in the 70s when she was doing her woman show. Now, see there, I'm always saying that I'm in a senior moment. You know what? Speaking of senior moments, bye y'all because Duchess of Success is on. Wait, no, she ain't on yet. But I mean, I'm looking at it right now. She ain't on yet. So what was I saying? I was saying, speaking of senior moments, see, my memory does serve me well. Not all the time, and not necessarily stuff that I'm supposed to pay attention to, but my memory is firing on all pistons right now. Let me see. Oh, okay. So we can be on both channels at the same time. Oh, okay. So that's why I see um Fancy and Kanita Ash and Kids Door and people over there when they could be over here. Okay. Okay, that's what's up. I take your word for it. Let me see. Hey, Baron, I grew up in Detroit, went to junior high school with Aretha Franklin. Two firstborn sons and trick or treat at Barry Gordy's house. Wow, I think Barry Gordy is 92 now. Interesting. Thanks for sharing that. Wow. Uh, Not in the least, Joan Garcia. Let me see here. Okay. Oh, thank you, B10 Pal. I am having so much fun today. I don't know. I'm just like having a good time today. Last week was so good for the Sussexes, so I'm just like I'm starting the week off feeling very pleased that they had such a good week. Lady Lena was in The Wiz too, right? The Good Witch, I think. Yes, she was Glinda, the Good Witch of the North. So there was Eveline, Evermean's even uglier sister, and then there was Evermean, and then there was Glinda, and of course, Miss One was the wicked. What? No, she was a witch of the South, but her powers didn't amount to much, if you guys remember. So Miss One, she had powers, but they were very weak, and Glinda, she just kind of came around when you needed her the most. And then there was Eveline, and Evermean. I can't believe we're having this conversation. Yes, I'm looking at the countdown right now. I see she's got 8 minutes 53 seconds. And I will have vanished by then, I assure you. Oh, really? Thank you, Kathy Gabby. I didn't see it come up on my computer because I'm looking at a different screen. But thank you so much for your 10 months of membership. I love it. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Beverly Hardy. Thank you for being here and for watching Royal Sussex. You guys, I'm going to give you some homework. Please make sure you watch Lena Horne, My Own Voice, or Her Own Voice. That was like one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. Lena Horne, Her Own Voice. You won't be sorry. She talks about her career. So if you guys didn't get a chance to see the one woman show on Broadway, this is the next best thing, I could assure you. Hello, Lynette Roberts. Glad you're here. We had fun today. I don't know if you caught it from the beginning or if you're going to catch up with us, but We have fun. Everybody's headed over to Duchess of Success right now, as am I, but you can catch up later, I hope. Do you guys remember when Miss One did her solo number? She goes, "Catch this number, honey." Catch this number, honey. Sweet thing, let me tell you about the world and the way things are. Oh, that's another one. When Miss One was singing her song, you know how sometimes people from the country say "ara." She said, "Sweet thing, let me tell you about the world and the way things are." You come from a different place and you traveled pretty far. Remember that? That's another one of those little things that you hear it and you're like, don't pay attention to it. But yeah, when she said, "Let me tell you how things are," she said, "I'll tell you how things are." So there you go. Really? No, I think he's still alive. I think he's very much still alive. I think I would remember if Barry Gordy died. Yeah, he's still very much alive. Born in 1929, 92 years old. He is very much still alive. Yeah. You know, the way he is about money, I don't think he's going anywhere until he's ready to or until he's broke. Oh yeah, that Joan Garcia, wasn't it amazing? I love that. Did you really? I used to say my auras like that. Oh, that's cool. I love when I hear people say, like they say, "How do you spell your name?" Baron. And then sometimes they say, "Is Bara if your country On?" That's right. And you ought to see the way people look at me when I say that. Ara. What? Ara. Oh man. Just think one of these days we're gonna wake up and nobody in the world is gonna say Ara anymore. That's gonna be a sad day. Let me see. Come on, Baron. You got me tap dancing on the kitchen in my kitchen and I don't tap. Oh man, sweet thing, let me tell you about the world and the way things are. You come from a different place, and I know you traveled far. Now that I told you what it is, ya da 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 da. Now I'm gonna point you toward the whiz. He's the whiz, and he lives in Oz. I used to know all the songs from that. There's a way to the Emerald City. That's not too far now, is it? Just take your deliberate time and lay it on the wizard. I swear, I used to know all the songs from that movie. I had it on VHS and I would watch it every day. I would watch it. Anytime I got bored, I'd watch it. So, and I love Miss One. Miss One with all her purses and bags. Okay, you guys, there's the 3 minute countdown to Duchess of Success. It has been fun. Thank you all for allowing me to reminisce about one of my favorite things in life. And that, of course, is the whiz. Yeah, so da 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 da. Oh man, now I want to watch it. Maybe I'll just play that LP, my 33 and a third. Huh? Maybe that'll be fun. Give the old LP a workout. I wonder how much that is worth on eBay. I'm sure that I could get some good money for that. You know what? There was like a little piece of paper inside where you could order like the T-shirt, the sun visor hat, and all that kind of stuff. that is still inside of the album cover. Okay, that is still inside the album cover, and I still have the whole thing intact. So, very collectible. Okay, guys, love you so much. We did not even ginge avenge. We didn't do the last thought of the day. So the last word comes from. Let me see. Let me see. The last word of the day is come on, you guys, I got to wrap this up. Okay, thank you so much, Sherry Ware. Bye, squatties. Remember, no bad energy, no bad energy. And Q Ginger Venge, I'm not coming back after this. I am going to go and listen to Anne and make me something to eat. Ya da 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 da. When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home. I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. Well, she ain't on yet. It says they're still waiting for her. I told you it was a big news day, so it's no wonder that it's taken her a while because same thing happened to me. I was trying to get everything together, and then more news came out. So that just means that she's going to have a very, very full show today. So, but anyway, I'll let you guys know. Well, some of you guys are looking already, but I'll let you guys know when she's on. But let me see. I did see that little clip where he was telling that girl to kick her legs up, and she said, "I'm not dressed for that." And I'm glad she didn't just do it anyway under any means. You know what I mean? I'm glad she maintained her self, her respectability, and didn't acquiesce to his very roguish behavior. Acquiesce. Boy, I didn't know I had a big word in me left. I think I thought I had went through all 5 of them that I know. She didn't violate her moral turpitude on his behalf. So, good on her. Well, she just added about 3 minutes to the clock, y'all. I'm looking at it counting down. So, so I can talk about the Wiz some more. My other favorite part about the Wiz was, of course, the Lion. Ted Ross, who also played the Cowardly Lion on Broadway, he was absolutely brilliant. Say what you wanna, but I'm here to stay 'cause I'm a mean old lion. Go where you're gonna, but don't get in my way, 'cause I'm a mean old lion. You just look, you better beware. Oh man. I mean, it just brings back memories, doesn't it? And let me see what else. I guess that was it. But a good movie. Now I want to watch it. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go anyway. The new countdown is on. I am gonna go and listen while I prepare some food. Uh oh, it was Kathy, but it was Kathy G. Oh, sorry about that. Thank you so much for straightening that out. Uh, it sounds like they're saying Harry, Harry. It does sound like that, doesn't it? It really does. But as nice as all of those are, my favorite of those is the one that says "Once Upon a Time." I tell you, I never get tired of "Once Upon a Time." That is so much fun. Um, and of course, oh yeah. Oh, I don't see it. All right, I was gonna do "Once Upon a Time," but I don't see it. Oh, all right. In 10, 9. I'm just kidding. It's still 1 minute left. Oh, man. I'm having so much fun today. Let me see. Yeah, it does sound like that. It really does. Okay, guys. That's it. I am ending broadcast. See y'all tomorrow.